My dear readers, listeners, and, of course, friends, let us address the malignancy at the heart of the Gujurat Riots of 2002 with the unvarnished disdain it warrants. At the epicenter of this orchestrated communal bloodbath stood Narendra Modi, then the Chief Minister of Gujarat, whose ascendancy to the premiership of India is as damning an indictment of moral decay as any in the annals of modern governance. Under his watch, a calculated genocide was not merely allowed to occur, it was tacitly encouraged. Modi's administration, marinated in a brew of fanatic nationalism and authoritarian impulse, did not just fail to prevent the massacre, it orchestrated a cover-up that speaks volumes of its moral turpitude. The grotesque dance of destruction that swept across Gujarat, leaving over 1,000 Muslims dead, women raped, and children orphaned, was not a spontaneous eruption of communal fury, but a cold, calculated act of political engineering. The evidence, though systematically suppressed and downplayed by a coterie of Modi apologists, points inexorably to a government that chose to look the other way as the streets ran red with blood. Let's dissect the putrid anatomy of this disaster. The initial spark, allegedly the burning of the Sabarmati Express, was exploited as a pretext for a pogrom that had been simmering under the surface, stoked by the inflammatory rhetoric of the BJP and its ideological affiliates like the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, VHP, and the Bajrang Dal. Modi's response, astoundingly tepid, suspiciously delayed, and woefully inadequate. In the crucial hours when leadership demanded decisive intervention, Modi was not just absent, he was strategically silent. In the aftermath, while Gujarat smouldered, Modi's government was engaged in a vigorous whitewash, evidence tampered with, witnesses intimidated, and the state machinery deployed not to render justice but to obstruct it. The police, whose complicity in the riots has been well documented, operated under directives that favored the rioters, ensuring that the pogrom not only commenced but continued unabated. The judicial lethargy that followed, with court cases dragging on interminably and convictions rarer than a display of contrition from Modi himself, only added to the travesty. The Supreme Court of India, intervening after a decade, criticized the Modi government for its part in the riots, a rare judicial acknowledgement of executive malfeasance. Yet, to this day, Modi has not issued an unequivocal apology or acknowledgement of his government's failures, hiding instead behind a veil of aggressive development rhetoric and nationalist posturing. But let us not be coy about calling this what it was, not merely communal violence but a state-sponsored pogrom, a term I do not use lightly. The Gujarat riots were a test run for a brand of Indian nationalism that is fundamentally exclusionary, a harbinger of the assaults on secularism that we witness today under Modi's regime. Modi's ascent to the national stage and his subsequent electoral victories do not cleanse his record, they indict it. They are a grim testament to the ease with which democracy can be manipulated, a sobering reminder of how communal hatred can be marshaled to serve political ends, and a clear signal of the dangers inherent in allowing a man with such a blooded legacy to assume the highest office in the land. To those who wielded the blade towards the innocent in Gujarat, slicing through the fabric of humanity with a barbarity born of hatred and sanctioned by silence, this is mine. A pen forged in the fires of truth and wielded with the relentless precision of justice. No passage of time, no cloak of political power, no veil of nationalistic fervor can obscure the atrocities committed under your watch. As you have marked history with your acts of unspeakable violence, so too shall history mark you, not as protectors of a righteous cause, but as architects of terror and purveyors of pain. Remember this, for as long as memory serves the living, your deeds shall be recounted, your roles reviled, and your legacies questioned. This is my blade, my pen, and with it I carve your true epitaph, an indelible record of shame and culpability in the annals of human decency.